Did you know that Nick Fury used to be white? Yes, and the character was created in the 1960s as a war hero, then later turned to Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was a white guy with an eye patch, and he had those white sideburns that Mr. Fantastic had. I don't know what that's about. Does anyone actually naturally get that hair? Is that something that people actually get? Or is it just something that Jack Kirby made up? Oh well. Anyway, the character was white until the 2000s, and the ultimate version was, well, black, and they thought it was a way cooler design, I guess, because he was just Samuel L. Jackson, and then they casted him in the movie as Samuel L. Jackson, which is pretty funny. So this version basically got killed off in the comics as, well, he's not dead, but he's gone. But he did have his own movie starring David Hasselhoff. Yes, David Hasselhoff. Hey, would you look at that? It's the first movie to have that intro for Marvel, which, the 2000s movies used to have. It's pretty nostalgic to me. Anyway, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. from 1998 is a typical generic action film that was released on TV only, starring everyone's favorite actor, David Hasselhoff, who was great in Broadway. Just kidding, he was terrible in Broadway. I honestly have not much to say about Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. as a movie because it's alright. It's a pretty generic action plot, but it paced pretty well, it goes by fast, there's nothing really that interesting in it. If I describe to you what the main plot is, there's a organization that's evil known as Hydra, which you probably have heard about in the new MCU and shit like that. And they gotta get an old agent out of retirement who's old but grizzled but knows his way, and he doesn't play by the rules. And he goes out by himself to get revenge on the people who are attacking, who he happens to know, because they want revenge on him as well. Cue in the espionage and action scenes, and you've got the pretty basic standard spy flick that you've seen a million times. It features over-the-top cartoon villains that are not cartoonish, they're just people who are acting over the top. There's also a pointless character that can read minds. Is the only character that has superpowers throughout the entire film, and just kind of confusing because it never really comes back, so I don't know what the point was, but yeah, there is superhero powers in this movie, I guess, whatever. Looking back at this movie from watching it after a day or two, it doesn't seem that great, honestly, especially this random subplot where Nick Fury gets a disease that's incurable, but then it's never mentioned again. I think he gets cured randomly. It's not even from actual cure. It's just okay, what's the point of that? There was no point, that's what. Then there's a part where he dies, but he's actually not dead because that was a robot that was poorly established at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, randomly there's hey, here's a robot that's kind of like you. That's creepy. And in the very end, oh, it was actually a robot. It's okay, they could have established that a bit better. It's kind of oh, when's the robot can come back? Oh, I guess it did. Well, they didn't really establish it very well. Oh well. Also, pretty goofily, they actually have a end area where they oh my god, we're gonna return and fight back because we're still alive, right, Zola? Yeah, Arnim Zola, he's the Captain America guy, but he's really old and a Nazi, and he's just alive, and he's yeah, I like you, girl. We're gonna kill Nick Fury. To be continued never, because this film never got a sequel. This film wasn't bad, but it's really nothing worth noting. It's entertaining if you want some dumb popcorn action, but other than that, you're not going to get a whole lot from this film. Well, that's where Nick Fury lands. The only notable thing that I haven't mentioned is that it was written by David S. Goyer. If you don't know anything about that person, well, he co-wrote a bunch of future superhero movies, including the next one we're going to be talking about, which is Blade. So, I'll see you next time with Blade, the last movie of the 90s, and the first one that's actually going to kick off the Marvel movie cinematic universe properly, technically speaking, because that's when they really start. Thank you for watching, and make sure not to lose your eye to a cat. That's one thing this movie has over the MCU, is the fact Nick Fury lost his eye over his mortal enemy and not some fucking cat. That was a stupid subplot. But yeah, I digress. See you next time. Bye-bye. See you later.